when you describe this process of ignition, as you called it, when an event becomes conscious, it really read to me like a cascade, like a fountain is turning on, a cascading. Engineers talk about cascading failures leading to nuclear meltdowns or whatever. You could call it a cascading success, I guess. That's what I pictured in my own consciousness, was this cascade of events. And I don't know if that's true or not, but assuming
that's a pretty good metaphor for what's going on, and it means that it's not so difficult to measure. So, people made a mountain of the problem of consciousness, but in terms of brain activity, it's not so hard to find correlates of consciousness, because it is a massive event. It creates a whole lot of a difference to be aware, because many different brain areas are coming online and speaking with each other. So we've just, in fact, asked for a patent for a device which is measuring in a new way, using a new mathematical equation, how much communication there is between distant brain areas. And it turns out that this is a pretty good index of consciousness in patients that are recovering from coma. Does that mean
my wife could use your machine to know whether or not I'm truly paying attention to her?
Well, that's a bit different. We are now measuring the sort of global state of consciousness. So we have to go back to this difference between consciousness as a vigilance and consciousness of a specific item. So it still remains a bit difficult to tell whether you're conscious of one specific item at a given moment, but it's less and less difficult to tell whether a person is conscious or anesthetized or in coma.
All right, I'm going to do a terrible thing to you right now. We only have about 30 seconds left, and I'm going to ask you just basically yes or no. Do you think it would be ever possible to create a conscious computer?
I think it's completely possible. In the book, I argue it's possible. We are not so far from understanding what it takes to put into a computer architecture. The first stage is, of course, to understand how the brain does it.
And you feel you're achieving that stage. So it's a fascinating topic. I thank you so much for joining us during your travels. Wish you the best, safe travels home. And thanks again, Professor Stanislas Dehaene, Collège de France. His book is Consciousness in the Brain, Deciphering How the Brain Codes Our Thoughts. Fascinating stuff. We'll be right back. I'm R.J. Eskow, and this is The Zero Hour.